All right, let's leave D.C. and take our popcorn with us and bring it closer to home, gang. Illinois lawmakers are back in Springfield this week for a short lame duck session. They came back with a couple of top issues in mind. What are those, Tony?
One is banning assault weapons. We're on just past the 6-month anniversary of the mass shooting in Highland Park from the July 4th parade. Not to mention just the gun violence that has plagued Chicago and other large cities around the state. And so late last night, I got to watch the whole House floor debate, all 90 minutes of it at around midnight.
Lucky you.
Lucky me. About they ultimately voted to pass, the House voted to pass an assault weapons ban. The Senate, it does not appear, will be taking that up today. So that's still left up in the air, and they have until Inauguration Day on Wednesday to do something on this. And then the other thing is there was some added protections for out-of-state doctors or patients who get abortions or do the procedure of an abortion, so that they could not be penalized in the state of Illinois for performing an abortion here or receiving an abortion here if the state from which they come from wishes to penalize them in some way.
Well, earlier this week, we had State Representative Bob Morgan on the show. He is the sponsor of that bill banning assault weapons. Here's what he had to say.
There are a number of elements here that we introduced just over a month and a half ago that provides for a lot of different changes to our gun laws. I was put in charge right after the shooting of the House Firearms Safety and Reform Working Group. So even though that's kind of wordy, it is what it sounds like. We're trying to address gun laws and how they relate to gun violence in Illinois.
With a supermajority in Springfield, would you say that this is a slam dunk for Democrats?
No, I would not. And the roll call last night shows just how close this is. They need 60 votes. They got 64 last night. One of them was a Republican. And so it's going to be largely Democrats, but and there were some last-minute changes last night. They took out the age requirement about being 21 years old to help get this passed. There was some issue about whether retired police officers could have basically these types of guns, and that got taken out. So there's this, and with the Senate not taking this up today, I would say that this is not a slam dunk in the next couple of days. It might proceed on throughout the rest of the year. I think there might be some version of this that passes in this year, whether it's in the next week or not. And we're here next week talking about what passed or didn't is another matter. But I think that eventually there would be some version of this that could go. Yeah. But right now it's because what they've done, and part of it is it's not just a ban on assault weapons. This bill, it identifies about a few dozen specific guns that are going to be forbidden from being sold or owned in Illinois. But then there's other measures about banning how many bullets can be in a magazine. Right. There's issues about
banning those carrying more than 12 rounds.
The switches that turn basically a semi-automatic gun into an automatic gun and let you fire 20 bullets in 1 second. There's things like that are in this as well. And so there was some debate last night about, well, how much things beyond just the forbidding some of these guns from being sold in Illinois should there be in this thing. So if it doesn't go in the next few days, there might be some discussions about how much more do we want to add on to this.
And as we mentioned, that other issue that lawmakers are focusing on is abortion. Illinois has already got many abortion protections on the books. What else are lawmakers considering?
Well, part of that is this is another measure that was controversial last night. It did pass the House. Again, Senate still needs to get Senate approval before it gets to the governor's desk. And in this, it's not just in this one particular bill. They added other things besides just these protections for medical providers or patients who have an abortion in Illinois. There's also things about having insurance cover medication for gender-affirming care. Or having insurance cover medication for HIV treatment, clarifying who can provide the procedure of perform the procedure of doing an abortion, as opposed to medicine that does that. And so there's things beyond that again were kind of the subject of of discussion. I don't know if I'd call it a debate, but discussion. It gives you a little bit of insight into what's been going on outside of the chambers, and whether this again goes in the next 4 days versus the next 4 months. I'm not sure which. I imagine there will be some version of this that does go with Democrats having supermajority and a governor that wants these things. That can go a long way. It's just a matter of figuring out what exactly is in this.